Good evening and welcome to WBS Weekend Prime News Live. Hope you are having a lovely weekend. First, let's take a look at the headlines.
This court therefore discharges you of all the charges preferred against you and accordingly sets you.
Court-martial frees 29 Kasese attack suspects over lack of evidence.
Currently, what we urgently need to do is map and recassette all the land that was previously held by communities.
Pastoralist land is being grabbed by elites. Civil society raises alert.
It's a common knowledge that where women have been deployed, they have done a better job.
Ahead of the Women's Day, women in Uganda seen as role models. Coming up in sports, Uganda Cubs eliminated from the All-Africa Games qualification on penalty. Well, thank you for joining us. Once again, it's WBS Weekend Prime News Live. And remember, you can watch this bulletin wherever you are on www.wbs.ug/livestream. I'm Mildred Tohaise. Now, let's take a look at the news in detail. The Army General Court Martial, sitting at the Rwenzori Square in Kasese Town, has released and set free 29 of the 53 suspects facing trial in relation to the July 5th, 2014 attacks in which 12 people were killed in Kasese and Bigando. The 29, who include the Rwenzori Kingdom Prime Minister Noah Nzahale, were acquitted by Presiding Chairman Major General Levi Karuhanga following a withdrawal of charges by the state prosecutor Major Frederick Kangwamo. We have the details.
Major Kangwamo told court that the Uganda People's Defense Forces Directorate of Public Prosecution had instructed that he stops the trial of the 29 suspects because they have no case to answer in regard to the attacks. He said that it had been understood by the DPP that the people who misled them into the attacks had already received amnesty before the court-martial started hearing the matter on July 25th of 2014. Those released are Rwenzori Premier Noah Nzahale, Ministers Yoma Mulima, Local Administration, Joshua Baluku, Spokesperson, Ganache Katia, Culture, Eria Tembo Nyakango, Chathenga Affairs, and Jackson Muliro, State for Language Development. General Levi Karuhanga, the presiding chairman, while releasing the 29 suspects, warned of any possible rearrest trial on the St. Martin case. The state finds concrete facts and evidence for their retrials.
Court shall continue to try you there are 20 persons whose names have not been mentioned.
Speaking as a free man, Noah Nzahale, Rwenzori Premier, who had been on leave until this matter was concluded, commended the state for taking a wise decision of releasing them because they believed to be innocent.
Yeah, next step is that I'm going to continue with the work of my office, mobilizing the Wanyarwenzori for peace and harmonious living. So I call on the people in Kasese and the Rwenzori region that we should keep peace and that we should work together. We should really coexist with all tribes living around.
There were mixed emotions after the court verdict as the free men joined in jubilation with their dear ones. They were consoled by their two lawyers, Geoffrey Sibendira and Major Ronald Iduli, who promised to fight for them until the end.
While women in Uganda had been subjected to social discrimination and domestic injustices, they have proven to be pillars in our society. When you look at the helm of development in the country, the women have exhibited great leadership and character that can be copied by others.
Francis Atima, Principal Inspector of Schools in the Ministry of Education and Sports, has hinted that women in Uganda have excelled in a number of things, leadership and mentorship being key exemplaries.
It's a common knowledge that where women have been deployed, they have done a better job. In offices, in whatever area you talk about, when you compare the two, women have made a better contribution. They are more dependable compared to the male.
Nisha Namala, a business manager and a board member at Vienna College, Namugongo, believes the only difference between women and men is that women have the ability to greatly multitask.
Better than others, I believe in equality, but girls have the ability to focus. I was very focused. So as a student, thinking outside the box and focus was one of my strengths that I'd say I had as a competitive advantage from the boys.
Mohammed Kachika, the treasurer of Nabagereka Development Foundation, expounds on the fact that girl empowerment should be taken beyond emancipation because they have proven to be good managers and role models in both homes and at workplaces.
So in Vienna, with regards to what people call affirmative action, we call it quality. You know, you get people of different quality. We are very well on board on that.
In life, parents carry different roles, while women have risen to the occasion as vanguards of trust and role models, but fathers stand out for authority. Most children in strong families have showed. Some of the most notable women leaders in this country are the Speaker Rebecca Kadaga, Executive Director Oxfam Win Byanyima, Jennifer Musisi of Kampala Capital City Authority, the former Executive Director Uganda Revenue Authority Allen Kajina, and Maggie Kigozi, former Executive Director Uganda Investment Authority, among others. Arans Mark, WBS Television.
A jailed former Arua Municipality Member of Parliament Hussein Akbar Godi has petitioned the High Court in Kampala to stop President Museveni from his continued murder utterances he is making regarding Godi's criminal prosecution. Godi, who is currently serving a 25-year jail term handed to him for murdering his wife Susanna Sur in 2008, also sued the Attorney General, the chief legal advisor. The former legislator laments in his plaint that President Museveni's continued murder remarks are aimed at biasing the minds of the Supreme Court judges since his murder appeal judgment is still pending before them. He claims that by President Museveni making such uncalled for utterances about his murder prosecution are calculated to create fear among the judges and influence the verdict. He also wants courts to formally remind the president about the doctrines of separation of power. Godi, who wants an interim order to be issued restraining the respondent, his agents acting under them or with their authority from uttering prejudicial and subjudicial to matters before court until the determination of the case by the Supreme Court. Now, Godi cites the recent utterances by President Museveni when he blasted judges during the 17th Annual Judges Conference when he demanded to know why they did not sentence him to death, and yet court had proved that indeed he killed his wife. The president, during the just concluded judges conference, lashed out at the judges, accusing them of hurrying to release murder suspects before the 180 days on remand have not yet lapsed, just because it is their freedom to be released on bail. He also singled out the case of Godi and demanded to know why they never sentenced him to death, and yet court had proved that he had killed his wife in cold blood. Godi was tried and convicted in 2011 for killing his wife after a family misunderstanding. However, he was not satisfied with Justice Gidudu's judgment, and he appealed before the Court of Appeal, and the matter is yet to be determined. Away from that, residents of Mpigi Town Council and Muduma Sub-County in Mpigi District have attacked their leaders at all levels for failing to work on pertinent issues that affect the communities. The angry residents have now embarked on upgrading their feeder road that had been in a very poor condition, claiming that local leaders had failed to play any role to ensure basic service delivery.
This was the heated argument between residents and Mpigi Town Council Speaker Joseph Kabalu and their area councillor Farida Namusoke, who had earlier advised the residents to collectively work with the town council in community work since the government had no money to fulfill most of its community programs.
Yes. eyokulabika nga tuyiwa malamu okuva eri gye litandikidde paka gye likoma byetaagamu malamu weewaawo nga n'ebigoma bikyakola ki bikyetagisa ne kati omulimu ogw'amaanyi oguliwo gwa malamu.
This swampy road joins Muduma sub-county to Mpigi Town Council and had for so long been impassable and a threat to many residents, particularly the women and the children who sometimes have been waylaid and assaulted.
So we had a problem of crossing from town council to Muduma, and crossing of Muduma to town council. She has helped us, so we thank her and urge you that the government and also
twatuka n'eggombolola e Muduma ne bagana okujja okutuyamba era omwami oyo kyatukoledde fetwali batusalako dda badde batusalako dda tulinga ng'abali mu kizinga
tubadde tukyasomoka tulina woyita byeritutwala mu malwaliro byeritutwala buli wamu buli kimu byetulima byonna tebikyatambula.
Residents who used handheld tools to upgrade this road reported to the woman MP Sarah Nakawunde, who had delivered some drainage systems to be used on this road, that the Muduma sub-county and the town council were slow in all policy implementation and assaulted in all programs. The two representatives admitted this, but said that it was the slow funding from the central government which frustrated their budgetary plans.
Muba mutusuubiramu bingi naye ate tetusobola bikola ffekka nga tetukwataganyizza wamu.
Kirizagaana wadde ebintu bingi bituyitirirako ne tunyiiga naye ne gavumenti yennyini terina ssente ziyinza kukola ku buli mulimu gwonna mu nsi.
This road is a community road. It is not a district road. It is a community road. So it is either the sub-county or the residents of the area where the road is to make sure that the road is worked on. So they can go to the district and ask for the machinists to have the road worked on.
However, Nakawunde noted that although the government was slow in some policies, it was also the residents' responsibility to participate in community work while they wait for government assistance. Alozia Sengendo, WSTV.
Well, we'll take our first break and return with a lot more still lined up for you. But first, let's have a reminder of our top stories. Court martial frees 29 Kasese attack suspects over lack of evidence. Pastoralists' land is being grabbed by elites. Civil society raises alert. And ahead of the Women's Day, women in Uganda seen as role models.
Load the airtime knowing it's easy. You get it all back with Chizzy. All the airtime you spend, Chizzy. At the end of the month, Chicho, Chizzy.
1K, 2K, 5K, Chizzy. 10K, 20K, 30K. Chizzy. Airtime you spend is funded. Talk on top with Chizzy.
Chicho, Chicho, Chicho.
Uganda Telecom's got something.
Get back your airtime with Chizzy from Uganda Telecom. Dial *100#, select Chizzy and get the total amount you spend in a month refunded. This refund can be used for calls and SMSs to all networks for the next 30 days from Uganda's most affordable telecom service. Uganda Telecom. It's all about you.
Do you recall the last time garbage in your neighborhood was collected? Have you ever experienced garbage spillage trails along your road? Now that will be history. Spear Motors brings you a hygienically safe and labor-efficient garbage compactor truck. Unlike ordinary garbage trucks, this garbage compactor truck completely covers the waste and carries 20 tons of garbage. There is 0% spillage and much fewer trips to the dumping site. The garbage compactor truck is a self-loader. Only 2 men are required for the whole operation. Local authorities and private garbage collectors, the garbage compactor truck is now available at Spear Motors, Nakawa.
Let your world come alive as you treat your taste buds to the fresh, zesty flavor of new Evervest Bitter Lemon. Evervest Bitter Lemon. Bitter is cool.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's still WBS Weekend Prime News Live. And remember, you can also watch it live from wherever you are on www.wbs.ug/live stream. In more news, as pastoral communities continue to fight for their way of life, civil society organizations operating in these areas say the 2013 National Land Policy is escalating land grabbing by elites in the pastoral communities. Speaking during a consultative meeting with government, the Coalition of Pastoral Civil Society Organizations claim the policy simply empowered the elite to suppress the helpless pastoralists. We have a report.
The survival of pastoral communities hangs in balance after several society organizations working in these areas expressed concern over what they termed as invisible hands in the ongoing land grabbing by elites. These civil society organizations, under the umbrella Coalition of Pastoral Civil Society Organizations, say the 2013 implemented policy is not addressing land rights of pastoralists. This comes as the government also intends to carry out a land right audit in pastoral areas with plans to review the co-ownership clause to end discrimination. Naomi Kabanda is the head of land policy implementation.
The role of civil society really will be to tell us, give us an audit. What's happening in your areas where you are saying you are doing pastoralist activities? Because we don't know as a ministry. And we need to fast track for purposes of if there are any loss of land rights, then we need to know, and that one should strongly come out. So we need to verify and assess the claims, and then if it is a government project, there will be need to put in place a program either of swapping, resettlement, or compensation.
Activists, however, say much as the policy tries to address some critical land questions, it does not address the question of who is taking other people's land on grounds that it is either idle or the rightful owners are simply evicted with no convincing reasons.
The language which is used to describe the people that Uganda found in the geography that is now Uganda is very disempowering. We are talking about ethnic minorities. What do you mean, ethnic minorities? Iteso were here, Baganda were here, Banyankole were here, Karimojong were here before the nation-state Uganda became Uganda. We are the first nations of this country.
When we were debating the land question, people from Karamoja stood up and said there is no idle land. Even Gulu and Lira, everybody kept saying there is no idle land.
Which is true.
Which is true.
The issue of idle land is the politics to justify grabbing people's land. That one is no doubt about that. Land that is not put to use and its capacity is influenced to sequester or store greenhouse gases. There's an objective on climate change, store water, and the rest the owner should be paid for conserving it.
The policy suggests modern ways of land utilization, with officials from the Ministry of Lands saying the productivity of land is very low, currently at less than 20%.
The productivity of our land use is very, very low. What causes that? Land is being held by people who are non-productive using it. Let's agree or let's refuse, but that is the real fact. We'll go and dig out the studies under land use, and you see how much of Uganda's land is full utilization.
What happens in Chiboka at the time of harvest, you find Kenyan trucks packed in the farmers' fields, and they are buying maize at 300 shillings a kilo. In the next 2-3 weeks, these same peasants who sold their maize to take children to school, buy paraffin and the rest, begin buying posho at 1,800, if not even 2,000 shillings a kilo. Is that the vision 2040 we want to see?
The group is now urging government to consider building the capacity of pastoral communities to manage their resources without a political tag.
Currently, what we urgently need to do is map and regazette all the land that was previously held by communities. When you travel Nakasongo and the rest, the corporates are facing peasants' land and kicking them out. That's not modernization. Number two, we want power back given to those communities through their cultural leaders.
If after 50 years, the land administration system that was introduced by the British is what is prevailing even right now, and the country continues to argue we are independent, what deters you to change, for example, the land administration system?
In the recent years, locals in pastoral communities have been squeezed off their grazing land by allegedly large-scale farmers. Stephen Mwiri, WBS News.
To issues of religion now, whereas many of the residents in Masaka and the Muslims in particular expected chaos among the two warring factions of the Kivuli and Old Kampala in Masaka town yesterday, security operatives were on the lookout to curb any such situation. Mufti Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubaje, who had for the last 1 week vowed to storm Masaka main mosque for the Friday Juma prayers and to preach the NRM members of parliament Chankwanzi resolution, was intercepted at Total Highway near Nyendo Trading Center, and the police stopped him from heading for Masaka town. Mufti Shaban Ramadan Mubaje was given instructions to head for the Tablik Best Chitenga Mosque along Bukoman Simbi Road, where he performed the prayers with a number of Muslims. Meanwhile, the Masaka main mosque, the situation was normal. At Chitenga Mosque, Sheikh Mubaje wondered why the Muslim leaders in Masaka continued to label him a thief when court exonerated him and they failed to appeal. He called upon them to join the struggle to unite Muslims in the country, saying that it was the best way forward for the Muslim community in the country. Former Tablik leader Sheikh Sulaiman Kaketo also found himself weeping due to the success in the struggle towards uniting the Muslims, which he said that he had seen. To the other Tablik leaders as well, both from Masaka and Kampala, stressed the need to join hands in the struggle for unity if the Muslims in Uganda were to stay strong. And we'll now take another short break. When we return, be sure we'll be talking sports, but first, a reminder of our top stars. Court-martial frees 29 Kasese attack suspects over lack of evidence. Pastoralist land is being grabbed by elite. Civil society raises alert. And ahead of the Women's Day, women in Uganda seen as role models.
I cherish children because they're important in our country. I show interest in what they do, I listen to what they say, so as they aspire to be the best, respecting children teaches them how to respect others.
good school equals to a better life. Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising Voices.
This is for the magicians, the ones who make sure you and I are fresh and clean all day long. Amidst all challenges, they toil to make us shine. Every single day, they apply their magic to give us more than we've ever dreamt of. Magic that appeals to our senses.
Magic so motherly that little angels can't resist. Only they can do this magic. Magic that makes a big job easy and fun. Buy White Star Magic Premium at any shop or supermarket near you and feel the magic of all day fresh clean.
White Star Magic.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. And on a sad note, the under-23 national soccer team, the Cobs, fall to Mozambique in a home tie played at Nachivubo War Memorial Stadium, losing out in the penalties 4-1. The Cobs, who seemed a better side, failed to convert several chances in the 90 minutes, thus ending the game goalless. And in the penalties, the first two takers lost out as the counterparts netted their balls. We have the details.
With a number of chances missed in both the first and second half of the game, Cobs were shown exit on the ongoing All-Africa Games qualifiers as lost to Mozambique. Dominating all the 90 minutes, their counterparts seemed more composed in the defense as they could clear all the loose balls. According to Cobs coach Mitchell Slodovic, they were just unlucky as they dominated the whole play. However, he seemed to have played to the trap of his Mozambique counterpart as he plotted for a draw. Mitchell insists Uganda has a lot of talent that only needs time to be developed. Mozambique meets Ghana in the next game as they are set to play on 21st March 2015, with Mozambique hosting first. Frank Sirugo, WSTV, Nachivubo.
And now to the good news in athletics. Uganda's Joshua Cheptegei emerged gold winner after at the Africa Junior Championships in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Cheptegei beats Kenya's Davis Kiplongat and Ethiopia's Gormesa Nega Fekansa to finish #1 in the men's 10,000 meters. He finished in the first place in 29 minutes, 58 seconds and 70 microseconds ahead of the second-placed Davis Kiplungat, who finished 1 second and 36 microseconds behind the Ugandan. Gormesa Nega Fekansa came third in 30 minutes, 2 seconds and 38 microseconds. And On Imagine winner, 19-year-old, became the first Ugandan athlete to win the men's 1,000 meters, 10,000 meters, after Boniface Kiprop and Martin Kurong. Boniface first competed in the championships in 2001 in Mauritius, where he finished second, but later represented in 2003, where he finished top in Cameroon. The accolades stepped up Cheptegei's profile after emerging the 2014 IAAF World Junior Champion, 10,000 meters gold medalist, finishing second in the TCS World 10,000 meters in Bangalore, plus the World University Cross Country Championships, where he took gold. And that is Prime Sport. We take a short break. When we return, it will be a wrap-up of tonight's news.
My name is Musa, your travel agent. I'm taking you around Africa, our motherland, a land gifted with beauty that flows right
From Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, our first destination will be Rwanda, a land of hills and beautiful ladies. Then Tanzania, the home to the great Kilimanjaro mountain. And Kenya, the Masai Mara home. If I may ask, anyone with more exciting sights?
Movitable jelly and Movitable soap.
That shows her love for quality African-made products. In fact, I move with Movit Herbal Jelly too.
My friends and I at Campus all use Movit Herbal products. As in, I even carried mine.
To have a good service, I first bathe with Movit Herbal soap.
See, I gave the right answer. Even at home we use Movitable gel and Movitable soap. Me too.
Movit. All day confidence.
News Summary is brought to you by
Everybody use Movitable jelly. Movit is amazing. Moms and heating jelly. Movit is the best. Movit, all the confidence.
In the news tonight, we had a court-martial freeing 29 Kasese suspects over lack of evidence. Pastoralist land is being grabbed by elites. The civil society raises alert. Ahead of the Women's Day, women in Uganda are seen as role models. PG residents accuse leaders of non-development. Peace at Massacre has Muslim prayers and police deploys to avert any chaos. And Uganda Cobs eliminated from the All Africa Games qualification on penalty.
News Summary is brought to you by
Everybody use Movitable jelly. Movit is amazing. Moms and Movitable jelly. Movit is the best. Movit, all the confidence.
And thank you so very much for being a part of WBS Weekend Prime News Live. That's all we had time for on tonight's edition. Have a lovely weekend and still happy Women's Day to all the women in the nation. I'm Mildred Tohai saying have a lovely night and stay tuned to WBS TV.
Programu y'oddembe lyekyusiddwa olunaku